We okay.
Gonna give us a count.
Yep, we're gone. We're live.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara,
I'm LaWanda.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
and today we are here to talk about Insecure. This is season 5, episode 2, and we are excited to get into this one. We will dive in right after this commercial.
In the club, we'll do it tonight, yeah. From the back to the left to the right, yeah. All them girls looking hot, looking tight, yeah. Come on and move from the wall to the light, yeah. I don't know, maybe you didn't hurt me. Gonna lose it tonight, yeah, no mercy. We're gonna turn it up crazy. We're gonna turn it up, turn it up. Let me see your hand, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand, let me see your hand. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. We gonna run like it ain't no care. Popping bottles, you know how we do.
All right, everyone, we are back. Please forgive us for starting a little late. We are having some technical difficulties earlier, but we are live. We are here. You guys can join us in the comment section as we discuss Insecure season 5, episode 2, and this one was titled Growth. Okay. And I think we've seen a lot of growth out of a lot of people this episode.
Yeah, including us. There's a lot of growth here too. So
Bear with us.
Bear with us. We're growing. These are growing pains. But anyways, we're here.
Yes, we are here. We're back.
Yeah. So I don't know. Issa, Molly, where you want to start?
Well,
I got my little...
I was going to dig in with, we are coming back out the aftermath of last episode where they got a little backlash on social media after what happened with the first episode, which was a little surprising to I think most people, because it seemed like the show always tries to do a really good job with portraying the Black experience in a very positive light, and they tried to do that with, I believe, the AKAs, where they had Amanda Seales' character Tiffany playing as an AKA at their reunion, and they got some backlash, which I think shocked some people. So I just wanted to give us a chance to speak on that before we dive in.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed off about that, honestly, because I thought that them portraying the AKAs and having Tiff as an AKA was a tribute to that sorority, and there was no malice intended in anything. And I think, as you said, that the show and Issa, they do a great job of uplifting the Black community and highlighting different organizations. And I just think that, no shade to the AKAs, but I think they should have, this is entertainment. I think they should have taken it as a tribute. Yeah. And that's it. They did the most.
And I don't remember too many people complaining about free publicity. I mean, publicity never hurts, particularly with a show like this. I mean, it's a very clean show. It's very likable. So I find it a little difficult that the AKAs would have had anything negative to say about it. But,
Well, I think we had the discussion that a lot of, this show is kind of based on her friendship. It's a real life experience. And I'm sure there may have been people, if not that sorority, from other sororities who are in the room or connected to her, which is probably where they drew the character from. And so I think that makes it, I'm not going to say difficult, but like when you kind of understand how things come together in writing rooms, they come together very organically and naturally. And you don't necessarily always think that, I need to go check with this, because you're not, especially if you're not coming with it from any ill intent or any kind of malice. So I think there's a disconnect between what people are thinking, like a corporate branding, whether or not you should have got permission, rather than people in writing in a writer's room writing from their lived experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
mean, like you guys already kind of talked about, and I mentioned Issa really tries to put on for the community, both in real life and on the show. And we've seen that this episode, as she's trying to include designers from the community, and which is why she was kind of really pushing so hard for Crenshaw to be a part of that event. And Seth, who is the, I guess, the seat or the head of the partner company that she's working with, he wasn't really feeling the idea, and he's trying to get other artists that fit more their lane and what they're comfortable and used to, versus trying to relate to the community and have somebody that that's up and coming that has a different perspective than his own.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I felt like he was trying to whitewash. I mean, on one hand, I understand them being a small company and being kind of scared to take too many risks, but on the other hand, by him choosing to do certain choose other artists, I think they were trying to water down and whitewash the show.
yeah, and I agree with you. They being a young white company, and what they know is what they know. But you did hire Issa, and she has a vision, and Crenshaw has a vision as well. So sometimes you have to step off your white horse, and come in and unrecognize other cultures, because they may have something to offer as well. And we find out Crenshaw had a lot to offer.
Yeah,
You know what?
and given. Oh, go ahead, Lawanda.
No, I was going to say that, this is something that we often see when you have the corporate side who may have the capital and the money, but then they want to collaborate with the culture keepers who have the draw, who have the content, who actually have something to say and have that influence and have an audience. And so on one hand, I think we've said this, Issa is also new, and she's in a delicate position because she doesn't want to mess up the relationship that she's building with these brands. But the other thing is also kind of knowing your power as an artist and your influence and your power to understand that maybe there are some things you don't have to negotiate. But I think it's something she's going to learn. She's still new to this.
That's a good point. And I think that for the partner company, like, they have to understand where they're at. And because Inglewood, like, we've seen this in past seasons where Issa was so taken aback by how much their community was changing, how it was being gentrified. And so I think that it's so important for her, like I said, in real life and on the show, to keep elements of the culture incorporated in what's happening around them. And so that's what she really tried to do. And with Issa being a people pleaser, she's trying to please both sides. She takes the suggestions that Seth gave her, and she tries to, tell Crenshaw to change a few things, leave a couple of things out. But at some point, he really called her a sellout. And I was trying to figure out if that was warranted or not, because it seems like she's more so trying to please both sides versus selling out. But I don't think he's seen it that way.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with that. I think his disdain for having to take parts of his show. I mean, it's his baby, and you're telling me, you're gonna cut my left arm because you don't like my left arm. And he got a little upset with Issa, and I don't think that it was so much generated at her, but she was the closest thing that he could hit at. But I didn't see Issa as any sellout either. Everybody got a part to play, and she's trying to get along too. So I think he could have been a little easier on Issa, but in the end, it all turned out.
I actually saw his point, but I also think it worked out the way it worked out too. You know what I mean? It worked out the way it's supposed to, because she's new at this. She doesn't know her own power and leverage. She has that now because he stood his ground. It actually is going to work to her benefit. That she'll be able to get more of what she wants, and they'll be more willing to take risks on her. You know,
Mhm.
maybe she still has an insecurity because she's new. Now she doesn't have that. Now she knows that she can ask for what she wants and get it. So it's just it's a process.
And she knows she can trust her gut too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
And she can trust her clients too.
Well, that's
Yes. Yes.
more important. Because I think had she trusted her client or known a little more about her client, you know, she probably would have put up a better fight. But being in her position, you know, she's just trying to get along.
I mean, it could have gone either way though. And that's just the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Because it could have gone horribly wrong.
True.
And she could have lost a client. So
it seems like it because he had his hands in his head for it. And I was like, I don't know if he really feeling this.
yeah,
But
he
by
looked
the
really
end,
uncomfortable.
exactly. And by the end, he kind of came up to her and was like loving it, even offered her more money. So I'm like, okay, that worked out this time. But I mean, like you said, it really could have gone either way.
Yeah, because I think when you're in that new position, she still hasn't realized that she's not gonna have to ask for permission. She's getting there, and with each event, she's gaining more and more confidence to where she's gonna just be in there walking in rooms making demands, or people gonna start coming to her. She may not have to. She may be in a position where she's not even having to do those presentations anymore. She's gonna be able to live off the strength of her reputation and her portfolio.
It's true.
And you know, we talked about this a little bit before, but I put my on my get the hands list, I put Nadia on there because Issa had signed up to meet with Nadia alone for lunch. Nadia decides she's going to bring Seth along with her to kind of blindside Issa, and I was like, you don't do that now. And you guys have some good points. I'm gonna let y'all make y'all points about that.
Yeah, LaWanda had a very good point.
Well, my point is, you know, when you that from Nadia's point, they're a new company, and when you're a team, you have to let people know that you're a team. You're not going to be able to go over his head coming to me thinking you can get a different decision, because that's going to put a strain on their relationship. So I wasn't mad at Nadia for doing that. I would have done that. Like, you're the point person. You're working with her. Why does she want to speak to me? And whatever she's saying to me, we gonna have the discussion together.
And that's exactly how I felt. You know, they are a young company. Nadia is, I guess, above Seth. So, you know, they were both doing their jobs. You know, Nadia wanted to get and see what's going on, and rightfully so. She didn't want to walk in on a meeting with Issa and not know the particulars. So, yeah, you would make that phone call and say, hey, what's going on with you and Issa? So
I'm not mad at Issa for trying though.
No, me either.
No, you gotta test the waters, test the boundaries.
Well, and Molly gave her the idea, so you know, hey.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking that maybe Issa would just go in there to Nadia as like more of a friendly conversation, not really on like officially on the record, but like more so bouncing ideas off of her versus trying to getting Nadia to sway Seth. So that's the kind of thinking that I had, is if I'm coming to you as not just a colleague, if I'm coming to you as a friend, don't blindside me and turn this into something else. But I guess it all worked out in the end. All that, you know, ended well. And you know, you guys brought up Molly. She was surprisingly supportive at Issa's event.
Yes, she was.
And it seems like, you know, a whole year has passed since they're going to their college reunion. And so they're in a new place. It seems like they're back to girls' night, watching movies and going out for pasta and whatnot. And they have really kind of reconciled nicely. And it was good to see Molly being supportive. You know, Issa has really grown a lot, as the title of this episode suggests. They both have grown a lot.
Issa's a boss, and Molly is supporting Issa in her business. You know, unlike last season when she was kind of, you know, she always kind of she was hating, and she always kind of treated Issa like she was a screw up. But she's being supportive now. And even, you know, Molly is doing some self-reflection. She got a new haircut. It looks cute. on her. Plus, I always loved Molly's wardrobe too. Wardrobe was always cute.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I was thinking too about this. It seems like they're working with each other through their issues versus them working separately. It seems like they've come together to work through the issues, especially, as it pertains to work and professionally. Molly threw their idea to Issa to meet up with Nadia, but then, in terms of, I guess, their breakup, they both just went through really tough breakups, and so it's now a year later after. Issa has broken it off with Lawrence, and she attempts to move on, but she's going back to her previous work. She's hitting up Nathan again. And so that was awkward. That little kiss cry scene. I was like, well, where did that come from? Because I thought she was really moving on.
But as a man, you can only use me but so many times, as that fall guy. And if it were me, if I were Nathan, I think that would have been my last go.
She definitely was sending him mixed signals.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're about to, get it on, and you sitting there crying in the bed about your ex.
Well, you heard the door shut.
Yeah.
He rolled out.
He rolled out. So he rolled out, which I would do too.
No, I didn't blame him.
Yeah, and it's gonna be awkward because they're getting ready to plan this event and they're gonna be working together. So I want to see how he handles that. He seems to be, out of most of the people that she's dated, he seems to be one of the most mature.
Yeah. Very level-headed. So I'm sure he could get over it from that perspective. I think, I don't think he's gonna let that ruin their friendship, but. Yeah, that might be the last time there'll be any romance between he and Issa.
Right, because he always wanted more. He's always said to her he wanted more and stuff. And I know he probably feels like she is just doing this tug of war thing with him,
right?
Because it's hot and cold,
right?
Which isn't fair to him.
Well, I was thinking about it because Issa, I don't think she has good self-awareness in this situation, because she thinks that she's over Lawrence, and then it seemed like the moment just hit her like a ton of bricks, that she was not ready for it, even though she had been kind of prodding him earlier on, asking if he had a girlfriend. She invited him over for the wine, she invited him to stay the night, so she was really putting on the full court press, and then it turns out he was not ready for it. And so this just tells me that her and Lawrence still have some unresolved business, and she needs to work through that. It seems to me like she really is still considering a life with Lawrence, but it still hurts her at the same time to think about what she would have to sacrifice in order to pursue things with Lawrence.
Well, what would she have to sacrifice other than a dream? She would just get a different version of the dream. She would still end up with him. It'd just be different than what she pictured.
Right.
Okay, maybe sacrifice is the wrong word, but it's kind of the battle that she's going to have internally about whether she can deal with that, because that's a long-term commitment. And she could be okay with it one day, and the next she could be super resentful and taking it out on him or the child. And she could battle back and forth with those feelings.
But she has to stop blaming Lawrence for Lawrence moving on with his life and happen to come up with a child. If she's going to have any type of luck in getting back with Lawrence, and then too dealing with that kid, she's going to have to forgive him. And I hate to say forgive, because
I don't think she's blaming him. I just think she's recognizing that's something she's not willing to deal with or able to deal with. At least at this time, she's not.
But that's my point. If you're not able to deal with the fact that the man has a child and it's not yours, you got to move on, because
that's why she broke up with him.
Well, okay, but you can't get him out of your head. You can't get him out of your heart,
because you don't just stop loving somebody. You can break up with people and still have feelings for them.
Yeah, but not to
You know,
the
it's a
point.
head decision and not a heart decision, right? She
Right.
made it based on expectation and probably ego and what other people are gonna think and how it's
That's
gonna
what I
look
think.
and all of that stuff.
And so,
I think she's worried about what other people would think.
so where does that leave her in the long run? Because we see she's ruining it with Nathan. And I thought she and Nathan have good chemistry together.
They
So,
do. They have
yeah.
a good friendship too.
So, something has to give. You can't harbor both.
I mean, but it's something that, it's something that's the kind of decision that you don't really understand until you get older and you have a chance to look back on it. Because what I took from it is that when she cheated on him, she really wanted him to forgive her because she wanted him to understand what she was going through, why she did it, what was the weak spot that allowed for that to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants the same thing. He wants her to understand that, okay, whether it was something wrong, or I don't need to be forgiven, but this is a life experience that I'm having that I want you to walk with me through it. And so it's kind of the same thing to me, but you may not have that perspective until years away from it. And you can go and look and say, okay, we both went through these really difficult stages in our lives where we did something that impacted the other person. But we really wanted you to see it's not about you, it's about me. Do you love me enough to walk through this with me?
And not only that, Lawrence forgiving her for cheating. Men have a hard time forgiving women when we'll go through it in a heartbeat. And,
Right.
And we have a very difficult time forgiving the women for doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was able to forgive her for that, that's got to hit home for Issa.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you wanted me to see you as a whole person and understand that this was a incident, but this is not you. This is kind of the same thing, even though it ties me to Condola. You got to look at her face. You got to look at this child. But he said that he's like, I want you. I want to be here.
Right.
I think you can't underestimate the meaning of those words and his sentiment at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough, and you can say one thing when you're not with him, but once you're in that situation and you're confronted and Condola standing in your face with the baby, it's another story.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like what did Dr. Rhonda say to her? Do you want to be in a relationship?
Right.
That's the thing. If that's what comes with him, is he worth it?
Right.
Yeah. And it seems like this week Molly is also coming to some realizations about herself in relationships too, as she's kind of setting up her dating profile online, and she's seeing these questions that they're asking her about herself and her interests in men, and she's kind of having flashbacks of relationships past, and it's not good for her. I think she realized that she's a lot to deal with and she has a lot of boxes to check.
Which is growth. It's growth.
Yeah.
Anytime you can look inward like that, that's growth.
Yeah, well, yeah. I got my opinions about Molly. She's a hard nut to crack. And as a man, having to deal with somebody that is so headstrong, and I think Molly is that. She's very headstrong. It's going to take a special guy. Let me tell you that now.
Well, I can tell you who it ain't, and that's Herbert.
And it definitely ain't Herbert.
I don't even know what planet Herbert came from. But Mom picked him out of some orchard. I don't know where.
He's like, Mom, you want her to get married, but not to just anybody.
Not just anybody.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting when family is like that.
Yeah, like any human being,
No. And regardless of what they think and they want her to get married and stuff, Molly still has a full life.
Yeah.
So, the parents, family, whatever, you need to lighten up. That'll come when it's supposed to come.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right. And oh, sorry. What you saying, Ron?
No, I was gonna say that dude looked like Urkel at 45.
Yeah. Oh, the gospel trap music that he was playing. The gospel.
He used to say, "Stop playing. That's his daddy. Show me him."
Right.
Oh,
That was
I
hilarious.
thought that was funny. And I didn't want to breeze by that conversation that Molly had with her mom. And I like how this show kind of like drops those subtle things in the storyline about Molly talking to her parents about estate planning, because that's something that our community doesn't do enough of. And it's never
Right.
too early to.
that's
So
true.
I like that they included that conversation subtly. They always
Yeah.
subtly drop gems.
Not only do we not do it, a lot of us don't even like to talk about it.
Exactly. That's and wow, that right there. That's
Uh-huh.
like a pin in it right there.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing with insurance and all thought, life insurance. We don't want to talk about these issues, but there will come a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it seems like this whole situation with Molly and Issa, they can probably help each other work through their individual situations. I'm hoping that's what we'll see next week, because it looked like Molly has finally let down her guard, relaxed her standards, and she's on a date with a guy, and she's kind of coaching herself, not to be critical. So, well, I mean, the dude, he wasn't bad looking. It seems
No,
like
he wasn't.
It could be promising.
Mm-hmm. If she keeps it light and don't have too many expectations off the top and stuff, and just enjoy yourself.
And I read somewhere the difference with women and men when it comes to dating, because a man can go out on a date with a woman, and that's all it is. It's a date.
Right.
Whereas a woman will go out and right away she's looking at this man to trying to determine what her kids are going to look like.
Some women.
Some women. Of course, not you. But
I'm not speaking. I'm just saying some women. I'm not even talking about me in this instance. Yeah. I'm just talking about there are some women out here that play the dating game just as hard as men do, and I'm not even talking about me.
Oh yeah, I mean nowadays, but but more specifically, these women that they're looking at what complexion the baby's going to be, because his complexion with my complexion, it ain't about all that. Just relax and go on a date, have some fun. You never know what might come from it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm hoping Molly turns it around. She's trying. Like Tiffany said, she is definitely doing the work this season.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
I'm sure Yvonne is happy that her character is doing the work, because I know she got tired of getting hate after every show.
Do you guys think that I feel like we still haven't seen the last of Andrew before the end of the season? I feel like we're gonna see him again.
I hope so, because Andrew's a good dude.
I like Andrew.
I would think he might be at Nathan's event.
Yeah. Yep. He probably will.
That's a good call, Luanda. You guys got any other predictions you want to throw out there for the season or for next episode?
I don't know if it's going to be next episode, but I know I saw in the trailer that eventually Lawrence is going to be back, and he and Issa are going to cross paths. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I'm not too hopeful with the Lawrence Issa attraction. I just don't think it's gonna. I think it's on. There are two trains going in opposite directions. Sorry, guys, I don't see it. I don't
know.
I'm so sentimental. I want to see them end up.
Yeah, me too. I think they both still have feelings for each other. It's just their situation is complicated, and they just got to be able to. Both of them have to be willing to make it work.
Yeah.
But one thing about this show, I say one thing about this show, Issa is a realist. She's not just going to give us the fairy tale happy ending that we all might want. So it could very well end up that her and Lawrence just agree to be cordial, or maybe not agree to not speak at all. I mean, it really could go either way.
If that baby issue is as strong an issue as you all think it might be, that might be the best form.
It is a strong issue, but I mean, it's not an issue that can't be overcome. They just have to they have to be mature about it and committed to that relationship.
Yeah, that's 18
Yeah.
years. You gotta live with that understanding about that.
I
baby.
know, that's tough.
That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and the journey ain't even began yet because she still ain't popped the baby out. So
Right.
if you going through it now and the kid ain't even here, imagine.
Imagine. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
think
well,
saw.
I enjoyed this. Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
No, I was gonna say I think I saw Issa on the Breakfast Club, and Angela Yee was asking her if she would have been able to do it, and Issa wasn't even sure that she would be able to do it for real.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think we highlighted all the reasons why it would be difficult. So, I mean, in real life, I can't imagine.
Hope springs eternal. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed this week's episode. I'm very much so looking forward to next week to see what happens, what goes down. I want to see the aftermath of what Nathan feels about the situation. I want to see if Kofi and I'm sorry, I'm calling him by his real name, Crenshaw. Try to see if Sean and Issa can make amends if they can work together again somehow, and Issa can smooth things over with him. I
And
don't
look,
know.
will it be a love? Would it be a love interest? Could he possibly be a love interest?
I wouldn't be mad if he was.
No, I wouldn't either.
He's nice to look at.
He is very nice to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but will Molly approve?
I don't
Well,
know.
Molly needs to worry about her.
We're not gonna get it
Right.
I don't need to worry about her.
Yes, she got enough going on to be
Right.
worried about other people's stuff.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Please make sure that you drop down in the comment section and let us know what you thought about this episode. Also, make sure that you click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get alerted for every video that we post. We are also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. You can pick your poison there. What social media platform you like? We on it. So follow us online. And also give us your predictions for the season. Let us know where you think things are going to head, because we're curious to get inside of you guys' mind. Also want to give a shout out to Law and Monique, who are live in the comment section with us. Thank you guys for staying up so late and joining us.
Definite. Definite.
So, you guys got any other remarks before we close out?
I'm good.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it a night. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure that you also check out our BMF recap. That should already be up. And come back and join us next week when we recap episode 3. Till
And this
then,
time we'll get our technical difficulties will all go away.
yes.
We'll be good.
Yes, indeed. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Good night.
Look at my neck bright, I get that check right. I'm so blessed, right? Off of that jet pipe, off of that side. I'm in that new coupe, my nigga I been fired. I said what I said, right? Yeah, I get that check right. I'm so blessed, right? Off of that jet pipe, off of that side. I'm in that new coupe, my nigga I been fired. I get that check right. Look.
All right. We're still